have a template and it said there was a template error and it showed us where it was looking for that particular template. That's what debug does. Debug allows us to easily figure out what's going on. And in production, when you launch your website, we actually turn this off so that people can't see all of that extra information, because that will make your site vulnerable. But while we're coding it, we want it enabled, and it is enabled by default. Then we say our URL patterns. Let's add to this URL pattern. We're going to say static settings.media URL, and then the document underscore root is equal to settings.media root. And so this is just using a pretty standard, it's Python language really. We're importing settings, the whole file, and then we're using the property in that file. We're just importing settings. Again, it's basically an object. And then we're using the media root, and we got that from our settings in here. Media URL, media root. Let's go ahead and save that and see what happens. Okay, looks like nothing happened, but let's go and refresh this page and then change this image. Instead of Gully 2, let's put Gully Belly. Save that. And let's view it. And you can actually see /media gullybelly.jpg. And let's take a look in our project here. We now have a folder called media and Gully Belly is in there. That's fantastic. We can now get rid of Gully 2 because that was our original one. Let's delete that. We don't need that anymore. And all of our folders, or not our folders, but all of our files are going to be uploaded to this media folder. So as a quick recap, what we did was we added media URL and media root. And this is a lot like when we created our template path. This one, our template dir. This one is our media root. And then we used a media URL and that media root in our URL patterns. And so the idea here is that when you serve static files with debug turned on, Django is going to serve those files for you. That's technically an insecure way of using Django. So when you launch your website at some point in the future, you don't want to be using that, and you're going to have debug turned off and your static files are going to break. Then you can use something like Nginx to reverse proxy the images and set it up that way. We're not going to talk about that for right now, just because that gets to be a little bit more complicated and a little too overwhelming when you're just learning Django. But for now, this is what we need to get up and running. Just that. In our next lesson, let's go ahead and actually add this image to our home template.